Game development challenge videos are a relatively new trend on YouTube, but the scene is already full of various creative attempts to shake up the motions of making a game. Some people with enough dedication have finished their game within a week, and others in a single 24-hour day. For me, it's been about a month now since I started this project. Consider this my addition to the challenge trend, where you get to see what a month of game development looks like if you aren't especially experienced or talented in it. And for a little extra spice, you give yourself some abstract, but firm, rules to constrain the already challenging process of making a video game. And I'm not even saying all that to put myself down or complain. Sure, I probably could have spent a little more time on this, but the whole point of the game is essentially a fun exercise to gain experience and learn cool stuff. It's the kind of thing I hope that I cringe at a year from now. It's the kind of thing I hope that I cringe at a year from now. It's the kind of thing I hope that I cringe at.
Is he still going? Is he still talking?
Why?
This guy's embarrassing himself.
But I know what you're here for. Let's move on over to the big updates. Alright, as a quick reminder, the words I generated to make a story out of were Moonward, Telex, Fic, and Tailor. And I kind of decided upon this, so the character runs this tailoring shop. People place orders, except they don't get suits back, they get spacesuits because they're going on the moon. Whatever. Anyways, programming-wise, I consider the three big challenges of the game to be number one, the tailoring station / editor. When you interact with the tailoring station, I want it to open up this UI where you have a template of the customer's size in a spacesuit, and then you have this color palette thing to choose from and accessories you can affix onto the spacesuit, and there'll be a timer that when it runs out, the order has expired or something, and you don't get any points for that. I want the player to be able to change the brush size when painting or anything on this. Number two, figuring out a way to detect and place keywords within the fanfics. So currently I have a global variable containing the quote-unquote special words that get randomized and then inserted into the dialogue. I'm using the Dialogue Manager add-on for Godot, which is super helpful in ensuring this stuff is somewhat intuitive. And then the third and final challenge is to individualize and randomize customer orders. So, eventually I want to get around to the point where each customer has a different body shape. You need to tailor it to them, right? And also detect that those orders are done correctly. However, most of my attention these past couple of weeks was directed toward figuring out how to create an asset that the player can edit in-game. I found a tutorial that showcased how to code a little drawing system where you can select different colors, change the brush size on this astronaut body canvas. I'll also link all the tutorials that helped me out in the description in case anyone's interested. If I may pat myself on the back for a moment, one nice thing about the way these three challenges are designed is that they all tie into each other quite nicely in one big, overarching gameplay loop, meaning that any progress I make in one of these three goals inherently makes the other two challenges a bit easier by providing them some structure and direction. Alright, how do I feel about this project so far? I have to admit I'm a little conflicted on the 3-month deadline. I worry that I've paced this project in a way that makes me think 3 months is a lot of time, but that I'm going to spend the last couple of weeks of development absolutely scrambling. To try and combat this a little, I've set some milestones due at the beginning of each month of where I'd ideally like my progress to be at that point. So far, I'm still on track, but I'm wondering if maybe a 2-month project deadline would have motivated me to push a little harder. I'm not stressing too much about it. I could always shift the rules and expectations around for the next random prompt game, but for now I will do whatever I can to have this one not fail miserably. But I mean, worst case, it could be a good thing, Maybe I'll finally learn my lesson. As for the graphics, soundtrack, and character prompts, I've kind of yet to touch on those. I do see those as more of final polish, details sort of things, and currently I feel like I'm still sort of in the prototype phase. But trust me, the soundtrack is in great hands, you should not worry. Cranial, which means essentially a long skull. So I'm thinking some bony, hollow, skull sound effect, and albuminous is the other word, which means this will be an egg-based soundtrack, as albumin refers to the egg white part of the egg. Unforeseen obstacles / struggles. So there's a lot of uncertainty hanging around the idea of this project in my mind. I'm a relatively beginner game developer, and I feel as though I'm a bit in over my head at times. I don't even know what I don't know, and that's a little scary. Someday I'll create a game that isn't a Frankensteinian amalgamation of various game dev tutorials, but that day is not today. And that's okay. That rhymed. That's how you know it's true. Hey guys, so just quick update. I had this guy just kind of laying around in my computer for a while. For like years, honestly. And this is my first draft attempt at drawing him walking away from us. So like upwards, or facing left and facing right. Not since I drew this guy like 3 years ago. I haven't really looked at this character, but now that I'm getting a chance to work with him again, he's got like soggy shorts, just hands in his pockets at all times. I think it's perfect. Like I could honestly polish this, but I think it's perfect. I feel like he's got like macaroni in his pockets and it's just like seeping out. I'm sorry, that's unnecessary. Thanks for watching.